Google. Let's go get him again.
Welcome to the Robes Away channel. My name is Mark. If you're new here and you just subscribed on this video, please comment below. Love to hear from new faces. If you're a diehard, you know what's up. Let's talk about Dior's Prive line. Let's unbox. Let's do a first impression on Purple Oud. Now, when Dior announced the launch of this one, I was not like, not another Oud by Dior, you know, uninspiring, blah, blah, blah. I absolutely love the brand of Dior. If you want to continue to throw out Ouds, you know, I'm not, you know, in the name, it might be just a marketing ploy, fine. But if you're continuing to release solid releases with the name Oud, I'll be happy. I don't really care about your marketing. So at this time, you know, day of launch of this release, they released, of course, the amazing leather Oud back in 2010. In my personal opinion, the best from the Prive line from Dior. I remember buying it in New York City back in 2011, I think is when I first, I don't know if that was my first Dior Prive, probably was. And I was just dumbfounded. I was just astonished. I absolutely love longevity, projection, the animalics in it, the leather. It's just absolutely a gorgeous fragrance. Leather Oud is by far, I think, their best creation, personally. That's a personal taste here. And then in 2012, they released Oud Ispahan. They're all over here. I own them all. Oud Ispahan, of course, he has a cult following. Actually, probably loved more than leather Oud. I'm kind of away from the crowd, but both have their subsections, right? Leather Oud, of course, big, daring, bold, animalic, and then Oud Ispahan, a totally different section of the category, more rose dominant than anything, which is more, you know, easier to love. And then they launched a Elixir Précieux line, which is, you know, I don't know how many mils, like 2 or 5 or something like that, which is super expensive, super concentrated apparently. I don't know who bought those, probably nobody, but there was one that was called Oud in there. So they've done a lot of Ouds within their day. I feel every single one, at least in the Prive line, from leather Oud to Oud Ispahan to this one, all have their own lane, I would say, and their own toughness in regards to, or maybe more, not toughness, but more of their better pieces. So at the end of the day, the Prive line, yes, has 3 Oud releases. Leather Oud, which is, I think, is the best of the line. Nuclear in performance, dark, animalic, leathery, mysterious, among other things. Then it has its Oud Ispahan, which is rose-based more. Has a cult following, and if you're asking a lot of people, it may be the best of the line to those people. I think it was a very solid release, in my personal opinion. Very, very different lane than, of course, leather Oud. So at the end of the day, I'm not rolling my eyes at Dior. Oh, another Oud. Oh my God, like another one. Do we really need it? Yeah, if you're going to continue to make great releases with the same note, why not? So here we are. I finally have my bottle of Purple Oud. Purple Oud was a weird release for Dior. I feel like it was so hard to find. Like some places have it, some don't. It's almost like trying to catch something and you couldn't catch it. I have mine, even though the juice is nice and purple, by the way. It's a light purple juice. And you know, the only regret I think that I have with this is, as much as I like Oud Ispahan and leather Oud, of course, I think I'm going to regret splitting this one. I did split it, and that's why this unboxing is an unboxing. The box is somewhere. I ditched it. I got 50% of the juice. Here it is, Purple Oud, and with its light purple hue. So it is my scent of the day today, and you're going to find out what I think of Purple Oud. I don't think I have a standalone video on Oud Ispahan, actually. I may have one for leather Oud. If I don't, I should. I tend to forget now in my old age. So let's delve into a Purple Oud, and I'll let you know my thoughts on this release. So we'll go 4 sprays. We don't have to go too crazy with this one. I'll probably do another spray on my other arm off camera, but okay, first thing that comes to mind with Purple Oud is, where's the purple? Where's the purple here? And I always correlate the color of purple for high class. It kind of makes me think, every time I think purple, there's some certain notes that would make me think purple, but you know, Jubilation 25 from Amouage just makes me think of royalty, and this is maybe where this purple goes for me. It makes me think of the velvet purple on a crown. But other than that, there's nothing purple in this release. Now the thing that gravitates to my nose with Purple Oud is it has a rooty vetiver. And looking at the note breakdown, and I did, oud, saffron, pink pepper, and orange. That's it. Very simplistic note breakdown. A lot of brands are doing this now. They're just, you know, why tell everybody what's in there? Fair enough, but I feel like a rooty vetiver, and it really brought me to a lot of places, but it brought me to Encre Noire. Typically, of course, it'll go, if you're gonna go Encre Noire, you have to go Sycamore by Chanel, and that's maybe another story, but Dior going against Chanel's exclusives and making their own. And it brings me to Terre d'Hermès, and from Hermès, Jean-Claude Denena, because of the correlation with the vetiver, the rooty vetiver, and you could say the ISO Super in Terre d'Hermès, and the orange note. Now the orange note, of course, much more pronounced in the Terre than in here, but the orange is present in here. And it really works well with the rooty vetiver, which of course is not a new idea. And again, the vetiver is not listed as a note, but I'm saying a lot of vetiver because it really has that rootiness. Anybody that smelt vetiver smells it in this release. You can't be fooled. But the orange, of course, well done. It's a little splash of it. It's well hidden in this introduction, that, but it does give it some brightness. There's a slight dustiness in here from the oud, I would presume. A little bit of smokiness, but you know, fragrances like Sycamore by Chanel, Encre Noire, they have that air of darkness to them. And this is where this particular release brings me. It has that rootiness. It has a little bit of kick, like it has some spice to it. Pink pepper, saffron are playing very well. I think the saffron is really well done here. Almost gives you a leathery coating in this release. A little bit spicy, woody, rooty, earthy, green. Pepper's coming through a little bit of kick here, just a little bit of kick. So soft oud, bed of spices, a darkness, saffron giving a little bit of a leathery tinge. Dry, dark colors. I would not go with purple. I would go more with browns, black, and green, but not the green like my shirt. It's funny enough I'm wearing green because this fragrance smells a little green, but a dark green, darker than what my shirt is. Dry woods, spicy dark green in color, with some browns and some black. At the end of the day, Purple Oud, and again, this is just an initial impression. You know, there's no 5-6 days of wearing. That's what a test drive is all about, and I want to see what the dry down is going to give me. Is this a new idea? Absolutely not. Is this different from Oud Ispahan, Leather Oud, and now Purple Oud? Yes, it's in a different lane. It is being, at least to me right now in the early stages, being compared to two designer fragrances that are much cheaper, Terre d'Hermès and Encre Noire. I don't think people compare it to Terre d'Hermès. I think it has more facets. I think it's much more cleaned up, if I could say that. And that might be its downfall. Highly wearable, very interesting, but I think this is the response to, again, going back to the Chanel versus Dior. I feel like Dior had this time that they were like, okay, Chanel is always the pinnacle of the fragrance industry. Everybody wants to be Chanel, even though they're not doing great things lately. But Dior, I feel like they went into this whole thing, okay, let's go at bat to Chanel. You want to release exclusive line? Okay, well, we're going to match you. You want to do a whole bunch of florals? We can do it just as good as you. You want to do a cuir de Russie? You want to do a sycamore? You want to do something a little different from your florals that Chanel is known for? We're going to go at bat and try to beat you. So I don't know. There was this time of Christian Dior that they were going at bat at Chanel, and it's very obvious, which is fine. Yeah, they've made some really great releases during that segment. Purple Oud here. And I'm kind of trailing off. That might be another video idea on its own. But Purple Oud, at the end of the day, a very solid release. I'm going to enjoy it. I really do like this Prive line from Christian Dior. I haven't met a really bad one yet in my journey. Again, I haven't smelt them all. But again, I buy the ones that are more my speed, or test the ones more my speed. So I can't wait to delve more into this Prive line. But Purple Oud, yeah, very solid release. I think more vetiver based than anything. Purple, I'm going with the Velvet Crown. I don't think it's high class. I don't think it's like Jubilation 25, same thing. I think purple, but I think of a crown. Here, I don't think it's as complex or as good as a Juby. It's very much a stripped down fragrance. I feel like there's not much going on as far as moving parts. It's still an interesting release. So Purple Oud, again, if you like vetiver, you like spices, you like your colors to be, you know, not purple, it would be more of a almost a rustic orange. I like that. A little rustic orange piece, some brown, some blacks, and some dark green in color. This is right up your alley. I think this is going to be great for spring, the tweener, the spring and fall seasons. So this is more like a tweener, you know, spring and fall. That orange note really does well with the darker notes in this release, just to give it more of a little bit of an uplifting factor. Not much to it. Again, it's like a rustic orange color, like almost a rusty orange color, if you could think about that, instead of a bright citrus, and not as big or as magnetic as the Tel d'Hermès orange. So there it is. There you heard my take and initial thought on Purple Oud. A good release from the brand of Dior. I'd love to see yours in the comments below. What do you think about this particular release? Always a fan to see what you all think. And do you think it's redundant that Dior has been, there's a lot of people in the community are saying, okay, enough with the Oud. I think it's just a marketing ploy, to be quite honest. I'm fine with it if you continue to release good fragrances. And I think Leather Oud, Oud Ispahan, definitely those two, some of the best in the Dior Prive line. So I'm not going to be mad at that. And this is a very solid release in its own right. Could have been named something else, most likely. But I'm not mad at it. As always, a great pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your Dior Prive fragrance wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube.